G'day. As he said, my name is Brian Cornick. I'm the President, CEO of Cando Rail Terminals. The reason why we're here today, actually, is to give thanks to CIB, Canada Infrastructure Bank. You know, we own 62 locations across Canada and U.S. We have 13 terminals across Canada. We have the largest terminal, privately owned terminal, here in Sturgeon County, just up the road, over 600 acres. When we're building the second part of that, what we call Sturgeon East, Sturgeon West, I apologize, what we call Sturgeon West now, the twinning off it, there's always things with regard to the supply chain and investment decisions along that line. When a particular client made a decision to postpone some of their investments, we looked at, is this still something that we want to do? Is this still a viable investment for us? It's an investment that the province of Alberta requires. It's an investment that the Imperial Oils, the Suncors, all those companies who are shipping product, it's an investment that they require, but is it an investment that should be funded by us? We had numerous conversations with CIB, and they were great in the discussions. We explained that we're looking to de-risk our investment. Going through the calculations, we came up with the concept that they can bring us to the table $100 million off the $200 million investment. It's a loan. It is something we will pay back over the next couple of years, but it helped us to de-risk the project. So instead of us looking at it and saying, we'll delay our investment for 2 years. No, we went live. In fact, we broke ground there 2 weeks ago. We will go live on that particular project, again, a $200 million investment. It will be up and running November 2026. Would it have happened without the funding from CIB? That's always a tough decision. Like any company in the world, you have finite resources. And one of those resources is access to capital. It's a finite resource. So looking at it and partnering with CIB was really, really helpful in saying, yes, let's go live now. We'll go live. We will be live November 2026. The project will be up and running. And then when some of the clients go live in 27, 28, we're there, ready and willing. So I want to thank CIB very, very much. It helped de-risk the project. It is $100 million off the $200 million investment. It is a loan for the next 4 years. With that being said, though, I'm going to hand it off to Minister Hodgson, who I'm sure has no requirement for me to introduce him in that sense. So, Minister.
Thank you very much. Can do. What better backdrop for what we're talking about today? Good afternoon and bonjour. Thank you for the kind introduction and for beginning our program today with acknowledgement that we are in the heart of Treaty 6 territory in Alberta and the homeland of the Métis Nation. I'm pleased to be here today along with the Canada Infrastructure Bank, Cando Rail, and other distinguished guests. As the Prime Minister has often said, Canada is currently standing at a hinge moment. In response to this shift, our government has elected to build stronger, more resilient, and transform our industries, diversifying our trade, and making Canada an energy and natural resources superpower. In support of our job to retool our economy into one that can keep Canadians competitive for decades to come. That is why we moved quickly to pass the One Canadian Economy Act, tearing down internal trade barriers and resetting how we build major projects in this country. And last week, we officially stood up our Major Projects Office, a one-stop shop for provinces, territories, proponents, and Indigenous peoples to access the federal government. This means Canada can spend more time building, like here, and less time with bureaucracy. The Major Projects Office will be based right here in this province, a province that exemplifies the can-do mentality of the projects of national interest. Did you guys trademark can-do? There's no better place that exemplifies the can-do spirit than in Alberta's industrial heartland. 582 square kilometers that hosts more than 40 different companies that have invested over $50 billion in capital to build an area that serves fuels, fertilizers, power, petrochemicals, hydrogen, and more, and delivers it to customers around the world. As Canada's largest hydrocarbon processing region, the most advanced carbon sequestration hub, the Heartland stands at the intersection of economic resiliency and environmental leadership. As the Prime Minister has promised, we will have more to say about specific projects soon. And to bring it back to today, the Canadian Infrastructure Bank will be playing a key role in helping to unlock the financing needs to build large infrastructure projects across the country, including, but not limited to, projects of national interest. The Infrastructure Bank has already demonstrated great value in its mission to build Canada strong. The CIB's mandate allows us to take risks that the private sector alone would need to take more time to do. This helps us get big projects built, contributes to our GDP, creates good-paying jobs, boosts productivity, and moves us faster on behalf of all Canadians. This $100 million loan to Cando Rail to expand the rail capacity is a perfect example of the kind of investments Canada needs more of. Through the CIB's Trade and Transportation Financing Tool, this investment will catalyze stronger, more efficient trade corridors that help Canadian business stay competitive at home and abroad. This investment in the Sturgeon West Terminal is expected, as we heard, to double the terminal's capacity, adding up to 2,500 new rail car storage access spaces and up to 1,050 spaces on arrival and departure tracks. In addition, this investment will help to create up to 50 new local good-paying jobs right here in Edmonton and contribute to $22.3 million annually of GDP for the area. Supporting strategically important rail corridors is essential to our strategy to build Canada strong. These corridors ensure Canadian commodities move quickly and efficiently to ports and global markets, reinforcing our reputation as a reliable trading partner and allowing us to diversify our global customer base. I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate the Canada Infrastructure Bank and Cando Rail for achieving financial close on this project. By working together, you are significantly enhancing a critical supply chain that will that will bring greater prosperity and economic opportunity in the West through a strong public-private partnership. This is exactly the kind of progress our government is committed to delivering. A stronger, more resilient economy that works for Western Canada and for all Canadians, for not just the next 4 years, but the next 40 years. Thank you very much. Merci.
Thank you, Minister. Is the mic live? It is. Thank you. My name is John Casola, and I'm the Canada Infrastructure Bank's Chief Investment Officer. It's my extreme pleasure to be here today in Edmonton to join Minister Hodgson and Brian and the entire Cando team to really celebrate the completion of a very important project. Minister, thank you for being here and for your continued support of the CIB And thank you, Brian, for taking time away from a busy investor day. We have been part of that since this morning, so we know everything that's going on. Much, much appreciated. As the Minister mentioned, the Canada Infrastructure Bank came to the table with a $100 million investment for Cando, and we recently closed the deal, and there's work underway at the terminal. We saw that firsthand this morning when we got a tour. Fantastic to see. Lots of skilled tradespeople are moving stuff around with big, heavy machinery. No sign of city slicker here. And you can see the actual progress being made. At the end of the day, the New West facility means more haulage and storage capacity for producers operating in the Alberta's industrial heartland. This is where I will stray from the script because a lot of it's already been said. But I do want to say that having listened to Brian and his investor presentations this morning, his very passionate, I think, and thoughtful remarks on Cando's strategy to date, the success they've achieved, and the plans for future success, it really gave us a strong feeling that we made a very positive investment that's going to result in positive outcomes. Because at the end of the day, what I'm convinced of after listening to and speaking with management, touring the facility, learning more firsthand about their operations, it's pretty evident to me that a strong and successful Cando means strong and successful companies in Alberta's industrial heartland, means jobs, means strength to the economy, and at the end of the day, all of that means it's good for Canada. So anything we could do to help accelerate the timeline means getting goods to market faster in a more economical and efficient way, and that's just a win for everybody. So thank you again for involving us in the proceedings today, and we look forward to touring the terminal again when it's completed. Thank you.
Any questions?
I know that the Sturgeon expansion was heavily swayed by Dow Chemicals expansion, and you kind of referenced there that obviously that's been put on hold for now. I'm just wondering, like, what's the future business case for the expansion now that that project's on hold? Is it sort of in the hopes that that project gets restarted, or do you have confidence that there are other customers and businesses that you can serve with this expansion?
Okay, I'll take that. So actually, it's a combination of both, to be totally frank with you. So when you look at the, and it was a delay on their investment, which was for internal reasons, if you read the public statements in that sense. We looked at it and they made a decision to delay it for 2 years. I don't want to get into confidential information or anything along that line, but I do see it as a delay of 2 years. So push aside all the plastic pellets that they wish to send up through Prince Rupert and everything else along that line with can export. There are other customers, Imperial Oil itself, Suncor, Pembina is right next door. When I look at Fort Saskatchewan and Sturgeon County, when I look at the possibility of a blue hydrogen location being built there. So when we map through it, and I think this is what's most important, and this is where most people forget, our infrastructure is minimum 50 years. And really, truly, is here for 100 years. Publicly traded companies may do things for quarterly statements and everything else. We're a private company. We look at it and we say, we're here for 40 or 50 years. So while there's a delay, that's fine. We work through that delay with that particular customer. The other customers, and what's interesting is, when we make our financial decisions, it is, what is my payback? When is it coming in? How can I work through it? So my financial team, my commercial team has already worked through that. Yes, the CIB loan did help de-risk the project in that sense, but still, it will be customer paid for in the next X number of years, whatever X is in that sense. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. And I just have a follow-up as well, if that's okay.
Yes.
Just in terms of the project's lifespan, I guess, up until this point, and maybe this
speak?
project and then decide to step in and help out?
I'll hand that off to John for his internal.
Thank you. Thanks. It's an interesting question. We actually engaged with Cando some time ago. We knew what they were doing. We realized the importance of these types of facilities and wanted to do more to help where the help was needed. Emphasis on where the help was needed. So we engaged in some discussions with the Cando team, and at the time, that was before the Dow decision to delay it. And so effectively, we came to the mutual decision that there was really no need for that kind of help from the Government of Canada and from CIB, because the Dow contract would essentially have paid for it and didn't need us. And our mission is to back solve to where there's a need, and so we all agreed that didn't make sense in that case. Fast forward to Dow's decision, all of a sudden you heard Brian talk about de-risking. They then said, his decision was, we can delay this thing for another 2 years, or we can take a little bit of risk that it'll come on, and hopefully the Canada Infrastructure Bank will help us with that, and in the meantime serve the existing customers where there's existing demand and lots of room for expansion. So that's the risk that was created by the delay decision, and that's when we stepped up to try and be helpful. I hope that answers your question.
So I learned a long time ago, I don't keep my job if I get out ahead of my boss. A reporter has reported something. You haven't heard that from the government. You have not heard that from the federal government. I'm not going to get out in front of my boss. So I want to be clear. I'm not going to comment on whether there's a pipeline on the list tomorrow or not. What I can tell you is that all of the premiers and the Prime Minister are committed to growing Canada. We have talked extensively, starting back in Saskatoon at the First Ministers Conference, about a whole range of projects to build Canada strong. It covers everything from rail, roads, ports, renewable energy, conventional energy. I could keep going. We have to focus, ladies and gentlemen, we're in a hinge moment. The United States has decided to change the way the world trades, the way we are going to integrate into the global economy. We have to respond to that. We didn't ask for this trade war, but we need to respond to this trade war. And that's exactly what we're doing by taking our destiny into our hands. A project like this is the perfect example. I've been coming to Alberta for business for 35 years. This is the most entrepreneurial place in the world. There are more people figuring out how to do business around here than anywhere else I've ever been. This is a can-do place, and I think you said your motto isn't, this is just a name, it's an attitude. That is an attitude in this province. Because another country decides to disrupt the economy, because another country decides to charge for access to their market, we're not going to let them slow us down. So when you have a project to do that somebody else's actions is causing a disruption, if we can step in with a solution that gets that built so Alberta can get on with doing more, and instead of having 40 companies in the heartland, have 60 companies or 80 companies, that's what we're going to do.
Play a
Fine, I'll take a stab at it and throw it over to you. Look, this is another perfect example of we can do more for ourselves than anyone can take away from us. It is common knowledge that there are state actors out there who are disrupting the functioning of critical mineral markets. They are deliberately undermining the integrity of markets to make it more difficult for us to build and to supply the world with critical minerals. In the Donald Trump world of do you have cards or not, Canada has an incredible group of cards when it comes to critical minerals. We need to look after ourselves. We need to not let other state actors affect how we can grow. How are we doing that? The Prime Minister in Kananaskis, right here in Alberta, talked about a critical minerals buying club where Canadians and like-minded allies in the G7 and in NATO who are looking for sustained access to critical minerals are prepared to work with various government tools, one of which would be Canada Infrastructure Bank, to make sure mines that deliver critical minerals get built for Canada and for our allies. We're in an incredible position. Our G7 allies are all net buyers of critical minerals. We are net sellers. That is our opportunity. That is ours to capitalize. We need our can-do people in the critical mineral area to work with us, to work with the Canada Infrastructure Bank, to work with private sector, and we will build more critical mine infrastructure and processing facilities. So value add is important. We will make sure that happens in Canada for the benefit of Canadians. We're all Canadians. We all want the same thing. We all want a prosperous country. We all want a safe country. We share a view. I can tell you in my conversations with the Alberta government, when I talk about the conversations I have with Germany, I was in Germany last week. They see us as a responsible provider of energy and natural resources. They see us as someone who's prepared to develop those resources in an environmentally responsible way, working in partnership with First Nations. It's a shared value set. What I hear loud and clear from our allies like Germany is we were beholden to one state actor for a long time for our energy, Vladimir Putin. Today we're being asked to be beholden to a new state actor. We're not interested in being beholden to one customer or one supplier. Canada has this resource. You produce it in a responsible way. You do it in conjunction with First Nations. We want to buy from you. That's a shared view between Alberta and Canada. We agree on almost everything. There's a few things in the edges where we don't. We're going to focus on getting the can-do done on where we agree and getting stuff built and getting our products to market. A perfect example is the LNG we just shipped in June, our first shipments of LNG, the cleanest LNG in the world. I mean, Canadians should be proud of that. We produce an LNG with a lower carbon footprint than any country in the world. You know what? Our allies want that. Alberta wants that. Canada wants that. So I don't think we have a lot that we're disagreeing about. CBC didn't talk to me. I don't think they talked to the Prime Minister. So, I mean, I think the Prime Minister has said the list is coming out tomorrow. It's pretty clear. Look, I think the oil business in Alberta understands that to grow, we need to demonstrate to Canadians that we will do it in a responsible way. That means doing it in a way where we produce the lowest carbon barrels that we can. There are paths forward to do that. The Premier and the Prime Minister have talked about a grand bargain. There's a clear path to doing that. I think we should get on with executing.
Any other questions? No? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. God, I'm glad I don't do your job.
Thank you.